Hey everybody, let's do a story time. Something that's not so fucking controversial. Jesus Christ. This is Speaker Builder, issue number 3 from 1989. A little bit of water damage. Precise. Is that the Polk one? Polk made a, I think it was later on, about 94, 95. What they did was they used two 6.5-inch drivers in a band pass, and instead of the band pass being a vent, they used a passive radiator, which looks cool and makes it think that it's cool. And I was actually obsessed with it for a really long time. I thought that you could get a gain by using more passive radiators. You'd get more surface area. And at the time, Parts Express had these little 8-inch Carbonu passives for like $7 shipped. And I bought like 20 of them, thinking I could, somehow get around. What I didn't realize was that there's displacement, right? There's not displacement of the driver into the cabinet, but displacement of the remember, a woofer is only good as its bore and its displacement, how much air it's actually moving. So in this case, this isn't the Polk Audio, but in the case of the Polk Audio one, you still only have two 6.5s moving, let's say, 100 cubic inches of air. So the 10 is limited to the 100 cubic inches of air. That's it. So you can't gain anything like that. It's not magic. Stop thinking there's magic. Stop thinking that you're somehow smarter than what? Fucking almost like 100 years of scientists looking at this shit. So I had to learn the lesson too. Hexaconology? It's just a honeycomb cone. And there, see, that's how you do it. You do an ad there, or you do a article, and then you do, boom. Oh no, that's Eton, sorry. See, I even got those guys mixed up. Eton is different than Focal. So if I remember, Eton is, I thought it was French. Maybe it's Canadian. Michigan, yep, Canada. California, New Jersey, Wisconsin. And then there's Eton America, which could, I don't know. I don't care. That's the real answer right there. I don't care. I don't care anymore. So this is for you guys. I'm doing this. Well, this was a thing for a while. So Cambridge Soundworks also did this, where one unit was a powered sub, and they put an 8 ohm sub in it, but the amplifier is 4 ohm stable. And then they made a slave unit that was also 8 ohm, so that you could put them together if you wanted. It's a cheaper way. So Cambridge Soundworks basically came from guys that left JBL, I think, if I remember right, and Altic Lansing, and came up with their own brand to cash out. So, but that's what Cambridge Soundworks was for a while. So it was all mail order. There wasn't any stores or anything like that. Ultra disc. There you go. This is an isobaric setup. Isobaric tunnel. Cross section. Now, isobaric back then was actually a real deal. Just because I don't think they realized that having more magnetic strength, like an insane amount of magnetic strength, is really what shrank the box requirement, the VAS. So, because that's what this does. These two woofers are working in tandem together, and it ends up, that if you've read the loudspeaker cookbook, like the VAS for this one, let's say, is 5 cubic feet, and this one is 5 cubic feet, and then when you put them together, this now only needs 2.5 cubic feet. So it's almost like magic, right? But it's really not. It's actually mechanical. So, and then what Kicker realized was that it is just a bigger magnet, and that's when they came out with something called solo baric, which all it is just they used a bigger magnet. And then Tilo Stompler took that to the next level by making some rad-ass shit with really, really, you know, fucking 40-pound, 50-pound fucking motors, you know, and people were like, who's going to buy a 50-pound motor? All right. But now that's the fucking standard. So, but yeah, this is from 1989. And like, if you were to buy something like this now, you're talking about like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And this is, they're showing you how to make it yourself, which I thought was really great. And that's typically what, you know, some audiophile dude's house looked like, because there was no market for it. Nobody was making stuff like that. And if you were, like, it was really expensive. Let me hold my place. If you go back, see, like, I don't even know if Focal was making the cabinets. They may have just been making the drivers. So, you know, again, how do you get a cabinet to somebody? It's very expensive. So, the Picket loudspeaker. See, most of this is just cosmetic. It just looks good. It's not really anything. You know, and what they did was just, you know, one of their friends made a cool speaker. This is what they used. That's the Seos driver ADX tweeter. And then that's the network that they used. And this is what they came up with. So when they did the testing on it. Servo controlling the AR1. I'm not a fan of servo control. Well, because now there's DSP. So you don't have to have any sort of accelerometer or anything on the driver. DSP just corrects it. It sends a different signal to the driver, and it becomes self-correcting. So there's been a lot of really good products that are really compact, that are aimed at side-by-side, UTV, and motorcycle, from Kicker and Cicada, notably, that are just really amazing uses of, get out of here, fly. What the fuck, man? Nobody invited you. Get acquainted with Peerless. Your choice, $20. Very reasonable. Of course, that's $20 then, so that's probably about $60 now. This is from 1989. Smooth ripples out. Bass box. Most people don't have ripples anyway, so. And then Sheffield Lab was like the shit. I don't think they do anything anymore. I think it was one of those things where it was just like one dude, and maybe you can do some search on the PO box or phone numbers, find out. It was probably just one dude, and he like retired or died, and then the brand got bought up by because that looks like the same as Old Colony Sound Labs, and then that got absorbed by Audio Express, which printed this one. Nobody prints anything anymore. Compact disc. Compact disc. Have you heard of this thing? It uses lasers that won't skip. Wow. Product specification woofer Mark II. Very small magnets. So this is great though. Let me show you back this. Back in the old timey days, you could take something like that and then you Xerox it, and you actually can turn that into a circuit board. You would make a translucent copy of this on a piece of what is it called? Just plastic, clear plastic, and then you would lay it on a photosensitive material on top of a copper circuit board, and you would put it out in the sun for like an hour or whatever it is, and then you wash off all the copper except for what was covered, and that leaves your circuit. So that's how Ted showed me how to do that. I thought that was a little, like, I'd rather just wire it. So wire it and solder it, but this is kind of just a neat idea. Macaulay Culkin. Polyp? I don't know. Zalytron! Yay! I never bought anything from them, but I always saw those are some of the prices. This was something, I don't even know what this is. The switcher. Make your own switch box. So a bunch of relays. So, but see, again, why would they put this in here? Because there weren't any products back then. So, I mean, you could buy them, but they were very, very expensive. So you had to do it yourself, which is one of the reasons why I had a conversation with somebody today in the industry about you know, why certain brands are so expensive. And the guy went on to talk about how, you know, they're one of the last people that are, you know, building subwoofers in America. And I was like, well, no. I was talking about your Chinese made woofers. And it was almost like you didn't want to admit that it was made in China. I'm like, well, you know, your basic Chinese woofer is still $279. Like, that's a lot. And I know that it only costs about, it's under 20 for sure. But typically it's about $10 to make. And, you know, not much more to ship. So, but I don't know. He defended it. I was like, okay, I disagree. So, but that's, you know, that's why I do what I do, man. Because it's like, I can't afford to put out $30,000-$40,000 for an order of woofers. And then even if I do, like, that's a huge risk for me. Like, I'll go broke doing that. I almost went broke when I ordered a bunch of stuff directly from XY, and then they sent the wrong shit. And then I owed UPS like 10 grand for air shipping like 3 pallets worth of shit for this guy who then bailed on me. Oh, boy, did I learn lessons. Right? Like a fool and his money will soon part ways. Now this is cute. Little baby crossover. See, now that's something that's great. You put together as a kit. You got your kids working with you. And then it looks like it's all passive. Maybe that's for power. Maybe. And then that's signal input output. Maybe, I don't know. You guys investigate that though. I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore. Or it's, you know, somebody else now. Fosgate Audionics. There he is. All dressed up, nowhere to go. 1989. I think that was one of the things that he left for himself, where he was allowed to, I don't want to say tread on, but definitely be responsible for something with the same name as Rockford Fosgate. So, because by 89, Rockford Fosgate was, you know, he had started it, and it was fully, you know, his idea. Of course, you know, somebody else bought him out or whatever, dealt with it, but then for a while he tinkered with that. I think he's too old now to do anything. His health, you know, it's what happens when you get old, man. LPG, Germany's finest. Well, I don't know about finest. So, but LPG is one of those national companies. I think Imbicorp technically for a while was a national company, but they ended up selling the rights out to that, and it now belongs to Maxonics, if I remember right. Polydax, Audax, French people. In the France, we have only ugly girl make woofer for you. Circuit boards. Peerless. Peerless was more out of Denmark. Of course, a lot of stuff was just made in China. So, just words over there. Parasound. Really, one of the only reasons why I bought this magazine was for the ads. So some of the stuff was cool to learn about different bandpass configurations and things like that. Or, you know, just, of course, if they did it under, you know, if they told you right off the bat, they said, hey, either sealed infinite baffle or ported boxes is really the only way to go. We're not going to entertain anything anymore. Guys get bored, right? And that's really the fascination with the bandpass. Because you guys are goofy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all those. One into another, and then you get all done and you don't even know if it's going to work right. You're just happy it makes any noise. Ah, shit. Somebody's here. I'm going to ignore him for a second. Old Colony Software. Mama, can you go see if that guy's here out in the garage? So there's the dual reflex. And then they even has a little port to go into that thing to do that thing. Oh, it's so dumb. And then this is the mailbox. We're almost done. Hang in there. Acoustic stuff. We already talked that with Larry Sharp. Alps. Tapered. I don't know. Good diagrams though. More bass control, audio control. Catalog cornucopia.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, I'll tell him I'll be right out. Thank you. Yeah. This doesn't matter. Back then they used to think that there was inherent non-linearities with a woofer. And so that if you mounted another one face out or face in or whatever, the opposite of the other one, it would cancel out non-linear. You're talking about stuff that you can barely measure, let alone hear. No difference. So just so you know, same thing here, no difference. If you can hear the difference, good for you, but you're not, and it's going to take you a long time to figure that out. Oh, look at that. You could get a little binder for all your speaker builder magazines. Oh, that's nice. There you go. Ramsdale Audio, 27-inch subwoofer. 6.3 edge wound voice coil. Badass. Look at that square magnet, like it's RFL, fucking MTX and shit. McIntyre. Not Macintosh, McIntyre. Start reading Audio Amateur and you'll be writing us letters like these. Euphonic. Some of these guys get started on just buyouts like I did. You know, you go to a surplus auction. Ooh, MTX, look at that old logo. I had that spray painted on my bedroom wall, but my mom wouldn't let me use spray paint, so I used athlete's foot spray powder. That was pretty rad. So, yeah. Let's see. Vintage designs. You want to reproduce old-timey stuff. Look at that. Oh my God. There you go. You guys like the old-timey stuff, and then it's just promo. These are, what are the classifieds? Let's get to the end. Meniscus. There's meniscus. Active electronic crossovers. Rack and panel. Culver City. Matasound. Who's this? Join an audio club. There used to be audio clubs too in every town, well, major towns anyway, major metropolitan areas. Typically, just wherever they're at. And then VIFA is no more. Optoamp. Optoelectronics. Oh, and then see Parts Express in the black and white ad. Look at that. Look at all that. I remember I found one of their catalogs by accident. Oh my God, what a find. And the Morel on the back. Look at that, since the 80s making this shit. Sticky. Sticky icky. It looks strange, right? It looks strange. Is it good though? It's not always good to have a big voice coil like that on a mid, just so you know. It's a lot of mass, and you don't get as much BL because there's not as many windings in the gap. So you have to use really small wire and all that kind of stuff. It's better to use a smaller one, like a 1-inch. I think it was Diamond Audio. This is probably Larry F's design. The Diamond Audio D6 mids. Dude, the fucking wind height on it was inch and a quarter. It was massive. And then the voice coil was either 3/4 inch or 1 inch. I think probably 3/4 inch. And the thing fucking had a lot of throw on it. I thought it was really amazing. So I'd love to talk to him about that next time I'm up at Recoil. So, but it's in the books. There you guys go. Episode, or what was it, issue 3 of 1989, Speaker Builder, Loudspeaker Journal, magazine. There you go. I love you. I'll talk to you later.